Stocks traded higher Friday as investors continued to mull chances of a virus relief package, with mixed signals coming from officials as to what size of a proposal they may support. The S&P 500 and the Nasdaq each posted their best weekly gains since July. The Dow also gained on the week for its best performance since August, and so the Dow has rallied back into the green for 2020. And traders are monitoring developments out of Washington to weigh whether a comprehensive or partial stimulus package might emerge before Election Day. Any additional relief measures are viewed as a key tenet in encouraging the recovery in the virus-stricken economy. And in other news, this for Jordan Baskin, the piano man. Crude futures spiked on Thursday when the Secretary General of OPEC said OPEC is going to continue its oil market management and that the worst is over. OPEC says it hopes the market will be very healthy heading into the fourth quarter of 2020, so perhaps the upside for oil could just be getting started, as combined Brent net exposure is near decade lows, indicating there could be plenty of room for a relatively smooth and potentially drastic move higher. Well, at least we can hope for that. OPEC and its allies said they would be proactive and preemptive in addressing the diminishing price, recommending participating countries take further necessary measures. Other representatives have said that using tactics to overproduce and hide non-compliance have been tried many times in the past and always ended in failure. They achieve nothing and bring harm to our reputation and credibility. I didn't know that OPEC had credibility. And with that, this week I finished my buying of XLE, which is an energy select sector fund. But it won't be a straight line up. So let's take a look at the charts. And just take a quick look at this chart here. This is my hypothesis or theory or scenario. We could see the top here. We've come down here. We're getting our reflection and our move back on up. Hopefully we can get to this trend line and move above it, because if we don't, then we can come right back down here to this trend line. So keep that in mind. Let's go to the VIX chart. And we're now looking at the 2-year weekly chart on the VIX, and the symbol is $VIX, as you can see in the upper left, and we're using stockcharts.com. Now, back in the August-September period, we bottomed here in this area above 20. Then we had a small eruption up to here, not quite to 40. Since then, for the last, say, 6 weeks or so, things have been calming down and it's been trending down here. I'm thinking it's going to continue to calm down, hopefully trend down into the low 20s again before bottoming. And that's at the point that we need to pay close attention to see if there's going to be another eruption. Down in the lower portion of this chart, you can see that the fast line and the slow line, looks like the fast line might have just barely gone through the slow line. I'm not quite sure. It's too hard to see, but I think the fast line is going to get reflected back down again before it tries to bottom and then perhaps gathers enough steam for another move higher. And if the VIX moves higher, that means the market is going to move lower. But for the time being, again, things are calming down. So I think we have a little bit of room for the VIX to calm down and the markets to head up here in a temporary move toward that upper trend line on the previous chart we looked at. So now let's go to our charts. And so we're looking at the 2-year weekly chart on the spiders, the SPY, and then close on Friday was 346.85. As you can see here, this is the prior high. We came down, bounced off of that 20 EMA, and we're making a move back on up to this point here. We need to continue on to this level here and hopefully above this general trend line, continuing on up. Now, if we don't get there, and we're going to have to watch this very closely from this time period on up here, if we don't move through this trend line, that could be trouble. So we're on the lookout for that. Moving down here, you can see volume looks fine. It's trending lower. Here in the MAC, It's finally completing that reflection off of the slow line and hopefully heading on up. But again, that's going to bring some caution signals for us. Moving on down here, you see the same thing in the histogram as well as in the price rate of change, relative strength, the stochastics, and the Williams. They're all telling us we're getting a reflection with a move on up. So we just have to wait and watch and see how much power is behind this move on its way up. See if there's any hesitation at the prior high or near that trend line. And then we'll have a better idea of where we're going to go once we get to that point. So pay close attention. Have some cash on hand in case we head on down. Use it for a reserve or keep it for potential opportunities that may come. And for today, that's ChewDog Charts. Thank you.